Hi, I'm Elgin Walker of Keller Williams and the Elgin and Pilar Walker team. I would like to introduce to you our world-class escrow officer from North Hills Escrow, Yaneth Lopez. Yaneth, welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Great. Yaneth, we have a long working relationship together, and we've worked many short sales over the years. I'd like to talk to you about the process that many don't see regarding escrows and short sales. Yaneth, my long time friend and escrow officer, we have what, 20 plus years working together?
At least.
I will honestly say that Yaneth and the ownership at North Hills Escrow has been a blessing to my family and business, and we've done escrows together over the years. With Yaneth, most people think that short sales, you do nothing until we actually get an approval, and then you do nothing. When we decide we can help a client even before an offer, throughout the negotiations of the transaction, there is so much that you do. Can you talk a little bit about what goes into the process of a HUD-1?
Sure. Basically, what I want to do when I prepare the HUD-1s is obtain as much information as I possibly can so that I can make sure that I submit to your negotiator an accurate HUD-1. That avoids having to do HUD-1s repeatedly and avoids any delay in timing that we would need as we're trying to get it submitted.
Great. Well, let me ask you something, Yaneth, just because I know that some of the people in our audience don't really understand what the process and what a HUD-1 actually is. Can you give us a brief description of what a HUD-1 is and what it involves in the short sale transaction?
Sure. HUD-1 is basically an estimated closing statement, which is in a format that the lender requires, the short sale lender requires to be submitted in order for them to consider the fees and the closing costs and everything that is involved in the submission of the.
So just to kind of help them make a decision on whether or not they should accept it.
Yes.
Okay. Now let me ask you, on a normal transaction, a normal short sale transaction, if there's such a thing, that has, say, 2 loans against it.
Yes.
If it has 2 loans, approximately how many HUD-1s will you have to do just to get to the negotiator before we even get an answer from the lender?
Usually we do anywhere between half a dozen and a dozen estimates, especially when there is 2 lenders involved, because one lender would require a change when the other lender would require a different change. So we go through quite a few.
Wow, now I think people really understand that process and how much work there is. And this is even before we actually, quote unquote, officially open escrow. Well, I know that in some of the properties now too, Yaneth, there may be back-end taxes, back-end HOA, Miller rules, things like that. How do you factor that stuff in on your HUD-1s in advance?
We make sure that we do the research that is needed for us to obtain that information. We check with the county records, we check with the title companies, we do all our investigative work in order to be able to obtain that information and submit it.
Great. We know, Yaneth, based upon what you see, because I know you have a lot of clients, and you know, when we have bumps in the road and you know, the short sale process is just such a working process all the time. What do you feel with our team right now is our actual closing ratio on short sale transactions?
We have a really good ratio. We're at 95 plus on that.
So you say 95%, you think?
95% or more.
So you think we're good?
I think you're good.
I don't know, we're good.
Yes, you are. Yes, we are.
Well, you know, compared to some of the other, you know, agents and or teams that you're working with, obviously I know that we're not your only clients. How do we stack up as far as our actual closing ratio compared to some others?
Well, being that we've worked together for so many years, we know each other's process, we know what we both need, and we make sure that the process goes as smooth as possible by making sure that we take care of everything up front.
Right. Well, you know, I would like to just say here publicly that with North Hills Escrow and Yaneth Lopez, she makes our job so much easier. And no matter what you're doing in the process of short sales, you are only as good as the team members around you. So Yana, I would really, really like to thank you for all the support over all the years and everything you've done for our family. And I want to thank you very much.
You're very welcome. It's always a pleasure.
Great.